flying shot.
And another thing to mention off of that, right? And as we go into the tip-off here, actually, let's just get into the tip-off.
Ooh.
Lost Reyes going against Space Puppies.
Yeah.
Wait, is it Space Puppies? I thought they lost.
We'll wait and see a little bit to make sure that all the overlays and everything are up to date. But, of course, we do have the ball already starting up on the Orange side. So, Orange starting to feel a little bit of that pressure. And it looks like the blue team is getting fairly aggressive with both of their players.
So it is the semifinals.
Oh.
It is Jordan and Tiltoo.
Oh. Jordan and Tiltoo, one of those pickup groups. And they do manage to make a shot that does not manage to connect. Lost Reyes.
I kind of like the other name that you have for Jordan and Tiltoo. I think you said Tiltoo. I'm going to use that one instead. Tiltoo. It just sounds so much cuter.
Yeah.
It just does.
I mean, it's much better than Jordan and Tilting 2.
Tilting 2.
They did not tilt in that final round.
No, not at all. They played fantastic.
All right, but Jordan Tiltoo trying to make the aggression happen. We know that they are the aggressive team, and they, of course, are the first team to get that first score.
Already within that first minute. And looking here at the replay, going for that aerial.
Boom.
Gets the angle and a lucky bounce on top of Lost Reyes.
And it's exactly what we were talking about in the pregame, where when you have both players on the aggressive, you can do those setups. Of course, it does come at a cost of your defense, potentially, as we ended up seeing one of the games. They started to get a bit punished for that from Team SilverCon.
Yes. SilverCon.
Yeah.
I love that team.
But
yeah, as a result, but because they're attacking so much, that does cause a lot of offensive scrambles, and especially as the ball rebounds off the wall or off the other vehicles.
Yeah, Lost Reyes, I'm actually really curious to see how their playstyle is going to go, because we have been seeing actually a lot of the times Lost Reyes, not going to be able to make the defense over there happen. And something that I've been noticing already is that they both also have their players on the other side of the map, but one of the big differences, Jordan and Tiltoo, I feel like, are a little bit more conservative while they're on the offensive with their boost. Whereas Lost Reyes, they tend to just go ham on the boost when they're going on the offensive. And you know what? Oftentimes they end up saying, oh, I actually can't catch up with the ball and get to a good defensive spot once my offensive doesn't work.
Yeah, and also when the two goals that has happened so far, I saw that Lost Reyes stacked on top of each other, or at least right next to each other, so they're not covering as much space as they could as Jordan and Tiltoo are going on offense.
Yeah, Jordan and Tiltoo are just going absolutely ham. They're all over the place on the field. And I guess I'm actually getting word that it is Tiltoo, but I'm going to say I know.
Yeah, we definitely know it's Tiltoo, but I thought Tiltoo sounded cooler.
What? Their name is not SilverCon? Wait, I'm sorry. You're breaking up. I didn't quite hear that. So SilverCon
had lost.
Oh, but another shot from Jordan and Tiltoo.
We are seeing a very similar game one out of Jordan and Tiltoo. I was going to call him Jortaloo.
You know what? I like that. You know, in StarCraft, we have a thing that we do called making the Archon name, and I feel like that's a good Archon name. You merge the two names together.
Jortaloo. So it's 3-0, not even halfway into game one.
All right, Lost Reyes has really got to make something happen. I've been trying to get a feel for what their playstyle is, and it feels like they want to go for that sort of aggressive playstyle as well, but maybe just being a little bit overly aggressive. They aren't giving enough room for the defense, and we end up seeing, very, very close defense over there.
Now it's a 1-on-2 situation, but still on the attack. Oh, so close. Trying to regain that position with the ball. Dribbling, gets past his defender.
Oh, Lost Reyes.
It's a breakaway.
Oh, no, but he gets taken out by Jordan and Tiltoo. The aggression never ceases.
What's the box called for hockey when you get sent to the box? The penalty box?
The penalty box?
Yeah. That's exactly what I think of it. It's like getting sent to the penalty box, God, and it's 4-0 right now. Jortaloo.
You know, maybe there's just something about game one. Jordan and Tiltoo, Jortaloo just feel really good in game one. Maybe it actually wasn't SilverCon. Maybe it's Jordan and Tiltoo saying, you know what, game one, this is where we dominate. We play all of our cards on the table, but after that, that's when they start having a little bit of trouble, after they've shown everything about their play style.
Oh, what a dribble. I like the play that he tried to attempt. He did pull in the two defenders together, but couldn't create an opening off of it.
A little bit of patience coming out from Lost Reyes, saying not feeling good about going for that jump shot.
And it's getting pushed into Blue's court. There's the bounce off the wall. But a nice little defensive play out of Lost Reyes.
Yeah, finally getting that clear and finally getting an opportunity, maybe make something happen. Oh, but goes a little bit too far, a little bit too fast.
Yeah, a little bit of an overshot there. But he's still in midfield. He's trying to cover properly. Gets bumped into by his own teammate.
Almost gets a good angle over there. Is going to be able to at least keep this ball outside of their side of the field. They do not want it there. With 1 minute on the clock, they've got to score a goal almost once every 15 seconds. They're trying to make it. They're not able to make the connection.
Almost got on the board. He did get on the board.
You know, I feel like Lost Reyes are the soccer players that are saying, why can't I turn? Oh, the great defender faster. Why can't make the maneuvers? I can do it in real life. Over there from Lost Reyes.
Well, they're going to need to attack, though. That defense is not going to save them from that 4-0 deficit.
You know, I feel like we ended up seeing them be more aggressive in the earlier stage, but after going down 0-4, the reaction, I feel like, is just to get more defensive. And it's, as you were saying, like, this is not the way that you can bring it back. But is this the time that you just sort of say, look, it's 30 seconds left on the clock. We have to score 4 goals. It's not going to happen. Let's experiment with our play style. Let's try and figure out another way we can make this work.
If anything, they could try different types of positionings, different passing lanes, just maybe even being really over-aggressive and seeing what kind of results you get out of it. You know, almost building a proof of concept with the type of styles.
You know, I'm definitely in agreement with you. I think that's one way that you can do it. And I would have actually agreed with you a little bit earlier, maybe like a minute ago. I would have said, you know what, I really do think they need to get aggressive again. I think they need to get more and more aggressive. But I will say that the 4th goal happened, I think, almost halfway into the match. And they managed to defend and hold off an 0-5, or that 5th goal, for almost the entire rest of the round. So you know what, maybe playing that defensive style, it took a little bit of time, but they may have found their bearings in it.
And you know, speaking of defensive styles, earlier when we saw Jordan and Tiltoo make it out of their bracket, you know, that was a clash of styles going into that game too. So potentially, we might be seeing something very similar going into this game too between Jordan and Tiltoo and Lost Reyes.
Yeah. Lost Reyes, I think, definitely a little bit more adaptive with their play style. They aren't as hard set. They aren't going to be going into the series like SilverCon did, saying, you know, just this is our play style. We're going to make it happen unless we only have 12 seconds left on the clock, and we have to be aggressive.
Here we go into the tip-off again of Game 2. Into Orange's court. And, you know, I had a question. Do you think that Lost Reyes is playing more reactive and trying to transition into something proactive, or they're just being reactive as a whole?
You know, I think only time is going to tell. Game number 1 was the time to get that feel for what you want to do. We start to see a little bit of reactive play already, but I want to see how they're playing in game number 2. Right now, they have to play on the defensive because that's where their ball is in the court. But, of course, once they finally get it over the other side, this is where I want to see. Well, almost this is where I want to see. I want to see what happens. Where are the players when they're no longer on the defensive?
Oh, there's a shot that he's trying to take. Doesn't quite get it. Wide to the right. Defensively, they look a lot more sound.
Yeah.
They look a lot more comfortable now. And we're seeing that end of Game 1 really transition here into the beginning of Game 2.
Yeah, I kind of just get this sense, you know, as I watch Lost Reyes, they are, as you were saying, that sort of more calm defense. And it's just, I think calm is the key word. They seem to be holding back, playing a little bit more patiently a lot of the time. And even their aggression seems to be fairly patient aggression. And, you know, you compare that to Jordan and Tiltoo, in its own way, it's the opposite. It's that all-out aggression. We're going to make as many shots on the goal as possible. And it has paid off in game number 1, but they're struggling a little bit more in game number 2.
Yeah, you see them. They're what I'd like to see a little bit more out of Orange right now, or Jordan and Tiltoo, is some more transition plays. I think they're doing a little bit of one-on-one a little bit too much, and this could be the play that he's looking for. Not quite. The angle was too long.
Oh, and that's a clear goal. The boost is being used, but it's not going to get there in time. First point for round number 2 goes to Lost Reyes.
I think that was, for the first time, the most obvious consequence of the overcommitment on offense.
You know, I think I'm going to put it on the keyword patience. You sit there patiently, you defend, you try and get the ball onto the other side of the court, you try and get a little bit aggressive, but we're starting to see that sort of transition style and that adaptation again from Lost Reyes, being aggressive in the first minute or 2 of the first round, but now game number 2, we're seeing a lot of patience, and by doing that, they've been able to do and capitalize on the mistakes of Jordan and Tiltoo.
Well, perhaps I'm just very...
bit of a blunder over there on that defense, getting a bit over-eager with that.
And let's take a look at that again, as they're both trying to get back to prepare for that defense, and overshot over-anticipated that, and then went in a little bit too quickly.
It's so easy to say, play patient, but it's very different to actually try and play patient for an extended period of time. It, as you might imagine, takes patience, which is actually something pretty difficult to do.
Yeah, and we were talking about mental stamina earlier today. That takes a toll on your mental stamina.
Oh,
well can you hold that down?
Shot. I think catching just Jordan and Tiltoo at a bit of an awkward position. You can see over here, we had one of the cars for Jordan Tiltoo moving just at the wrong angle. He tries to make the correction, but it's no way that he can make that in time. I
liked the transition that Los Reyes did. The initial angle looked like it could have been a pass, and he anticipated the passing lane for his partner, but he anticipated the wrong decision. That just happens to be the case, I think.
Yeah, Jordan Tiltoo trying to get the ball to the other side of the court again, so maybe get a bit aggressive, and we do end up seeing
into the penalty box.
Jordan and Tiltoo are so good at getting those pickoffs, and that's going to actually allow them to get the next goal.
Can I call this a slobber knocker? This is just going back and forth right now.
This is definitely what I want to see for game number 2. This is almost actually what I was, we've sort of had a history today of seeing sort of one side of game number 1, opposite one side of game number 2, and then it gets to be the close game in game number 3. But we're starting to see that close game in game number 2 this time.
What I would like to see for sure is another game 3, because every single time I see Jordan and Tiltoo on deck, they just bring the hype. And I love it.
Do. And remember, this is the grand finals. Los Reyes have made it here off of a bit of patience, and it seems just like really strategic. And I guess I keep saying the word patient. Not quite paying off that time. Jordan Tiltoo.
Looks like they're finally getting that rhythm into attack. And look at this. Oh, the angle is so tight. It looked like it was almost going to go off of the corner of the post.
And I think this is something it's true in Rocket League, it's true in StarCraft, it's true in Street Fighter. Players that are aggressive definitely build off of momentum. And every single time Jordan and Tiltoo get that momentum, they get another goal. That is what allows them to just bring it back even further. And they start to play better. That's another thing that we've seen from them throughout the day.
Yeah, you know what? You make a good point. It does it heavily exists in Street Fighter. I promised you that. And then also Smash. And momentum can overcome logic. That's the scary thing about it. Yeah. Sometimes you're like, all right, I got this covered. I know your chess pieces. And then here comes that curveball. And we're seeing a lot of that curveball out of Jordan and Tiltoo late in the second game.
Yeah, well, Los Reyes is definitely not giving up just yet. They still have a minute and a half to get that next score to at least tie up the series. Still playing a little bit defensive, and Jordan and Tiltoo are not going to have any of it. They build their momentum even further, going up 2 goals in a row.
My goodness, just that aerial. Take a look at that. Both players trying to cross each other on defense and couldn't get the angle to block that. And now they are in a dire, dire situation.
Yeah, and I've really got to hand it to Jordan Tiltoo. It's not just about that momentum that's swinging in their favor, or the fact that they are aggressive players that can put a lot of stress on their opponents, but they do actually have some pretty good mechanics, and look at that, getting another shot that finishes off, saying, no, that wasn't just a lucky shot, we can close it out. And Jordan and Tiltoo are taking a dominating lead. They're already setting up 1-0 in the series.
You know what? If we were talking about how Los Reyes was playing a more reactionary style, Jordan and Tiltoo, credit to them, they play a very reactionary offensive style.
Absolutely.
That bounce off of that post, they could have easily just let that go. Rather than that, looked at it, committed to the shot, and got the bounce they needed.
Oh my God, Jordan and Tiltoo already making 2 very quick shots in the first 15 seconds of this next thing, and we end up
Los Reyes just scrambled.
Oh, Los Reyes this is the problem when you aren't playing one of those very intelligent, laid-back, calm styles. It's again that mental fortitude, and it's not just mental fortitude over time. It's mental fortitude when you're losing points, when you're giving up goals to your opponent. It's even harder and harder. And I think we're starting to see them crumble a little bit.
I 100% agree with you. I think this is an implosion on their team's part.
Oh, man. I feel like at this point, Jordan and Tiltoo, they're going for the style points on some of those shots. They're saying, hey, let's try and get what we can. They move back in, but it's almost more just to get more aggressive. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is going to be counted down. And Jordan Tiltoo